Hello guys, my name is Tomas. I'm the current world champion in freestyle calisthenics, and today I'm gonna take you with me to my statics warm-up. So let's go. My static warm-up, it's always around 15 to 20 minutes because I think the warm-up is the most important part of your training. It doesn't depend if it's like statics, dynamics or sets and reps or anything. It's always important to warm up your body properly. So firstly, I'm always starting from my head and slowly hitting down to my legs. And firstly, I'm always starting with some circulating movements like this to warm up every part of my body. So firstly, the head part. I remember when I was starting, I was always warming up for like 2 to 5 minutes, always just do something like this, some like shoulder dynamics exercise, and that was basically it. It actually worked before, but when I was like getting better and better and I was training the harder skills, it was super hard to avoid all the injuries. So I injured myself, for example, the biceps, the forearms when I was doing dynamics, or shoulders, wrist when I was doing planche. Now I'm warming up every time 15 to 20 minutes. Now I'm moving to the wrist, because when we are doing statics, I think like the wrist and all the hands are like the most important part. So we need to warm up really good all the muscles, tendons, joints and everything. So I'm always warming up my wrist like this with all the movements, firstly in the stand, and then I will move to the ground, and we will also do some stretching on the ground, some statics one, and I'm always combining it with the dynamic one, always trying to do both sides, because I think it's good like to activate your focus and all your muscles properly. And that's the first part of the warm-up with all these like dynamics movements, and then I move to some basics exercises and to some other stretching. Now to the shoulders, the second hands at the same time. Training part is done. Now we are moving to the ground. Firstly, I will do some stretching for my wrist and my forearms, and then I will move to some shoulder exercises, because also when I'm training the push session with a lot of planches, presses, handstands and everything, it's important to warm up your shoulders as well. That will be the other part, but firstly the wrist. Also, it's good to do all these exercises, because when I'm training some statics on the floor, it's always good to have the good mobility in your forearms and the wrist, because a lot of people have the problem with the ground because they are training only the parallettes and the P-bars, and then they go to the floor and they can't hold even a tuck planche on the ground because they don't have the mobility in the wrist. So that's another reason why I'm doing that. Now to the shoulders. I'm always doing 3 sets of this combination. Also, I'm trying to warm up a little bit my core muscles, my lower back and every single part of my body. Now the scapula muscles. Then I'm always moving to the legs just a little. I always like to warm up my ankles, because sometimes you can also have some injuries in your ankles. For example, if you can fall down from the P-bars, from the handstand, always it's better to have your ankles warm up also, because you never know when you can fall badly and you can injure your legs. When I'm doing dynamics, it's also a big part of the warm-up, because in dynamics, when you can fall from the big air, it's also important to be prepared. The important part is warm up all your body like super properly. Like I said, we want to avoid as many injuries as possible. Again, this exercise is super good for stretching the shoulders. Always try to breathe during your statics warm up and the static skills, because it's important to breathing during the stretching, and also try to be super relaxed. Then the lower back part. So this was my first part of the warm-up. Now I will move to some rubber band, because that's the second part of my warm-up. I'm always doing exercises that I put the rubber band on the high bar, P-bars on something, trying to warm up a bit more my biceps, shoulders, triceps and everything for the planches and for more heavier skills. So let's go. Always using coordination bands, because super good quality. The thing that I love about it, that they have like more types of rubber bands, so you can like choose how much strength you want to use into the warm-up, and also for the static skills with the band. So firstly, I'm always starting with this position to activate a little bit more my tricep and prepare it for the harder skills. We are starting with the right hand. The muscles can adapt, I think, like much faster than the other parts of the body. That's the reason I was doing the exercises with the rubber band. Also, I would say it's super important when you have some pain in your muscle. It's always good to warm up the muscle that it's hurting you like a little bit more. For example, for now, my left bicep is much weaker and a little bit in pain than my right one. So I'm always trying to warm up him a little bit more. It's important to be a little bit more careful about it. And my advice for all of you is to find the warm-up that suits you perfectly, because everyone has his own injuries, pain in some muscles or something. For example, you are having some problem with your shoulder, always try to find some exercises that works for your shoulder and for you. Other elements that I'm doing with the rubber band, it's this exercise to activate a little bit more my back muscles, to prepare it for some pull exercises like front levers, hold, front levers, pull-ups, touches, presses and everything. Always doing like 10 to 15 reps to activate, hold it a little. Also this one really helps me to activate it for the front lever pull-ups, to activate your shoulder blades a little bit more. Nice. And the last one, bicep curls. The last exercise that I'm doing is activate my scapula muscles and the biceps and the shoulders one for the planche. With this exercise, always trying to hold it for 3 seconds, then go back, hold it for 3 seconds again, and slowly go back to the first position and again hold it. With this exercise you can feel every muscle in your body, but it's super good to activate everything what you need for the planches, front levers. Definitely try this one. The second part is done. Like you can see, I'm already super wet. That's also important for me. I really need to feel that my body is warm up like this. The last part of my warm up is basically some basics exercises like pull-ups, chin-ups, push-ups, dips, handstand, and all this together to warm up the muscles, joints, tendons a little bit more, and then I can move to the main part of the training, which is going to be the statics. Now I will give myself 1 minute of rest, and then I will do the handstand, some planche leans and some push-ups in the planche lean to activate my scapular muscles even a little bit more to prepare for the planche. Also try to be creative. You can create your own warm-up routine. You can find so many routines on YouTube, internet and everywhere. Also you can try my routine. Maybe it will suit you and you will find yourself in. This was my static warm-up for all my statics training. Definitely try it. Remember, the warm-up is super important when it comes to the statics, dynamics and freestyle calisthenics, because we want to avoid as many injuries as possible. Try to follow my warm-up and definitely let us know how you like the warm-up. So see you in the next one.